Box and whisker plot. What we need is five. In this video, we're going to take a look at creating box and whisker plots. Alright, to create a box and whisker plot, what we need is 5 different values. We can get those from our set of data. The 5 different values that I need are the minimum. Let me get the right tool here. The minimum, the maximum, the median, our first quartile, and our third quartile. And we'll talk about how to find each of those as we work our way through these examples here. So we need to find those 5 values. We'll place those on a number line, and from there we can create our box and whisker plot. Okay, so to find the median, first of all, I need to get my set of data in order. So I'm going to start by doing that. With this set of data right here, I can start with the number 1. So 1 is my first one, and I'm just going to kind of cross them off as I use them here so I make sure I get them all and don't repeat. Then we've got a 3 and another 3. Then let's see, we've got 2 6s, so 6, 6. And then we've got 2 7s, 7, 7, and finally a 10. Okay, now I need to find the minimum, maximum, median, and the first and third quartiles. Okay, let's start with the minimum and maximum, because those are pretty straightforward. So the minimum is the smallest in the set. In this case, it's just 1. The maximum is the largest in the set. In this case, it's 10. Okay, we've got those taken care of. Then I need to find the median. Well, remember, to find the median, that's the middle number when our set's in order. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 values in my data set. And the middle of my set falls right here, right between these 2 6s. There's 4 values smaller, 4 values larger. So right between there. Well, the average between the 2 6s is still 6. So in this case, the median is going to be 6. Okay, then I need to find the quartiles. And to find the quartiles, what I'm going to do, the first quartile is really the median of the first half of the data. So here's my middle again. And to find the first quartile, I'm going to look at this section of the data, and I want to find the middle of that. Well, there's 4 values, so there's 2 smaller, 2 larger, and just between here, well, that would also be 3. So my first quartile is going to be 3. Then I do the same thing on the upper half of my data, and I find the middle of that. That's going to be my third quartile. Well, 7 and 7, the middle of that's just that 7. So now I have my 5 pieces of data, or my 5 points, that I can use to draw my box and whisker plot. So I'm going to start out here, just a number line, and let's see, we're going from 1 to 10, it appears, so I'm going to go from 0 to 10. So I'll just go, this is 0, this will be 10, then 5 would be here, and then we got to break these up, so 1, be 3, 2, 4, same kind of thing over here, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, so now we've got our number line, and we need to plot each of those values on that number line. So I'm going to start with the minimum. That's right here at 1. Then the maximum's over here at 10. Then the median is at 6. So right there, like so. The first quartile is at 3. And then finally the third quartile is at 7. Now, I've got all my points. So, how do I make my box and whisker plot? Well, I start from the first one, the smallest one here, and I draw a line to the next one. I do the same thing from the other end. Okay? Those are my whiskers of my box and whisker plot. Then the middle 3 points are going to make my box. So right here, I'm going to draw in my box, just like so. And then finally, we draw the vertical line right through the median there. Okay, so there's my box and whisker plot to represent that data. All right, let's look at this next example. In this case, again, we want to find the the 5 different points which will allow us to put together our box and whisker plot. So let's start with the minimum. Well, the minimum is the smallest one. Let's see, it looks like 2. So my minimum is 2. I'm going to leave a little space here so I can put them in order in a little bit. Then the maximum is the largest one. Well, that's also 10. My maximum is 10. Then I need to find the median, so I have to put them in order. So let's go ahead and do that. So we have 2, 2. Let's see, next smallest is 3. Then we've got a 5 and a 5. Then 7, 8, and 10. Okay, so the median, remember again, the median is the middle value of our set when it's in order. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 values in this data set again. So the middle, I'm going to switch colors here so we can make some marks in this set. It's going to fall right between those two. Well, again, my two middle values are the same, so the median is just going to be 5. All right, then I need to find those quartiles again. Remember, the first quartile is the median of the lower half of the data set. So in this case, we have the middle. There's 2, there's 2. So my middle is going to be right there, right between there. What's between halfway between 2 and 3, or the average of 2 and 3? Well, that would be 2.5. Okay, then the median of the upper half, that's the third quartile. So halfway between those, average of 7 and 8, which would be 7.5. Okay, so now we have our 5 points. So I'm going to go ahead and make my box and whisker plot. So I start with my number line here. Just draw out a number line, just like so. Then put my values on there. Well, this one's going from 2 to 10, so I'll just go from 0 to 10 again. Get all of our stuff set out here. Just like so. Okay, then I'm going to plot each of my points. So the minimum is here at 2. My maximum is over at 10. The median is at 5, right here. The first quartile is at 2.5, so that's going to fall right between 2 and 3, right about there. And finally, my third quartile is at 7.5, so that would be right there. Then, remember, the whiskers are the 2 outside points coming in like so. There's my whiskers. Then I make the box with the middle 3 points. And the bottom part. And then draw our line right in the middle at the median, just like so. And there's my box and whisker plot. Okay, now, what's the use of box and whisker plots? Well, if we look, remember that the data, 25% of the data is in each chunk of the box and whisker plot. So 25% of my data set is in this piece right here, 25% there, 25%, or 1/4 in each of those pieces. So it kind of gives us a visual of how concentrated or spread out the data is at different sections of the number line. Also, another thing that we can find from box and whisker plots that we might be interested in is the interquartile range. Well, the interquartile range is the difference between the third quartile and the first quartile. it's essentially the length of the box. So let's find the interquartile range of our two box and whisker plots right here. So this one is 7 down to 3, so 7 minus 3. Interquartile range for this one is 4. Then this one is 7.5 to 2.5. Subtract that. The interquartile range for my second box and whisker plot here is 5. Again, I got that by subtracting the first quartile from the third quartile. So we subtract those two things, that's our interquartile range. That tells us where the middle 50% of the data is, the box. It tells us how long that range is, where those middle values occur. So, box and whisker plots, again, we need to find 5 values. The minimum, the maximum, the median. Those are pretty straightforward. And then the first quartile, remember, we just split our data set in half, find the median of that first half of the data. And finally, the third quartile, we split our data in half, and we look at the upper half of the data, find the median of that part. Interquartile range is really the length of the box, which represents the middle 50% of the data. And to find that, we just subtract the third quartile minus the first quartile. I hope this video was helpful. Keep working hard on your math, and I know you'll do great.